Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, Weekend Edition, where we break down some of the biggest things happening in the world of cord cutting, including today. Is this the end of cable TV as we know it? Warner Bros. Discovery, Disney, and Comcast are all getting rid of their cable networks, shutting down some, but mostly spinning them off into independent companies. We're going to break down what's happening and why suddenly everybody just wants to get rid of their cable TV networks and just doesn't want anything to do with them. First off, if you want to read more about this story, I'll put a link to it in the show notes and in the first pinned comment so you can read it there for yourself and come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you. If you like what we do here, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that thumbs up, doing one or both. Lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. All right, with that said, let's dive into it. This year has been a lot of news about the end of cable TV. Let's be honest, justifiably. We've seen several cable TV networks shut down. Most notably that's already happened is Universal Kids is shut down. But in August, several HBO networks will be discontinued and shut down. The smaller like HBO Family type channels with this are going away on August 15th. Not sure exactly when on the 15th. Is it like 11:59 p.m. or 6 a.m.? I don't know. Somewhere on the 15th they'll be removed from your packages if you pay for HBO. But other things are happening too. Comcast was the first one. They announced that all their cable networks except for Bravo will be spun off into an independent company, including MSNBC, CNBC, USA Network, and more with that. Warner Bros. Discovery has filed suit announcing they'll spin off all their cable networks, though they will remain in day-to-day control of Turner Classic Movies. But all others will be completely spun off into an independent one, including CNN, Cartoon Network, and more with that. And Disney at first saying, we don't have any intention of getting rid of any of our networks or making any changes, has now reportedly starting to put some of its A&E networks. Disney owns half of A&E, and its joint partner in them are putting them up for sale with that. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. A couple things are happening. Of course, cord cutting is happening. A lot of people have cut the cord and are no longer paying for a subscription at all. They're not even paying for something like Fubo or YouTube TV or any of those. And because of that, we're seeing a lot of loss of revenue. But advertisers have started to heavily pull out of TV. A few things in general. The advertising market in general is really soft. There's more places than ever to advertise. Not only on traditional cable networks, but look at all these on-demand services that now have ads supported. And then you get the ones that are 100% ad supported, like Pluto TV, Tubi, the Roku channel, and more are seeing a lot of growth. And because of that, we're seeing a lot of change with it. All this put together is creating the perfect storm and a breaking point for cable TV network parents, companies, where they're just saying it's no longer worth it. This is really the end here a little bit. We've seen recently over 5 million people a year for several years in a row have canceled a subscription to a cable network, whether that be through one of these streaming services or traditional cable TV type service. People are ditching it. And now we're seeing ad revenue fall apart. I expect somewhere between 4 and 5 million people this year to cancel TV also. Some point you say, hey, that's 15 million people in just a few years no longer seeing our ads. Why put our ads on those channels? And that's why we're also seeing a lot of big changes on things like MTV now airing long stretches of Friends just to try to get any traffic there. Put this all together. What does it mean? For now, we're just seeing hey, we want them off our books. I anticipate in the next couple years we'll see a mass exodus of cable TV networks. Expect, I do mean this, over the next few years, as many as a third of all cable TV networks to shut down. By 2030, let's be very generous, 2035, in 10 years, maybe a third or more of cable TV networks could shut down. I've heard from multiple people in the industry that I'm friends with say similar things, that they do believe that we're about to see a mass shutdown of cable TV networks. As fewer and fewer people watch, why have all these channels? Why not consolidate those viewers behind just a handful of popular channels? Why do you need MTV2, MTV Classic, all these smaller MTV channels? We can just push them all into MTV, or more importantly, over to things like Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Max, and other similar streaming services. Look for a Large number of cable TV channels to shut down in the next few years. You're already seeing it with Universal Kids, some of the HBO channels. We've also seen some international channels that aired here in the United States shut down. Disney has gotten rid of most of the cable channels internationally. The Disney Channel, for example, is completely gone in most of Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and parts of Asia. And instead, they're sending people to Disney Plus. I think that's coming here to the United States. Maybe not immediately for a channel like the Disney Channel, but how long is FXX or FX Movies and other similar smaller channels going to continue to be offered? Because of that, I firmly believe you look for a third of the cable channels, many of which are channels you probably never heard of. Many of them could be some bigger channels you were once fans of. I expect some BET, some of the smaller channels there to shut down. But what's the future of Cartoon Network? Several people who work there in The Voice have expressed concerns for the future as major cuts have happened. Viewership is way down, and Adult Swim has continued to expand. You see Comcast and others moving Cartoon Network either into more expensive packages or out of their base packages into add-ons only, instead focusing more on Adult Swim with that. All this comes together into a perfect storm. What cable TV networks are most likely to shut down? I firmly believe it will be children's networks, some of the most ones likely. Even something as big as Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network could just be folded into their streaming services. After that, look for some of the smaller channels like the smaller BET channels and the smaller MTV channels, for example, to be shut down and consolidated. There's just not the viewership to support these channels anymore, and there's not the ad revenue to make it up either. Put this all together, hey, cord cutting is one, but now what's next? For movie studios, they now have to figure out how to make these streaming services profitable enough to continue to operate. We'll watch and wait. Give me a comment. What do you think is the most likely cable TV network to shut down in 2025? I'd love to hear from you. If you like these videos, you like our breakdowns of everything happening in the world of cord cutting, don't forget to hit that subscribe button or hit that thumbs up. Doing one or both really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. Maybe we can help you break free from the high cost of cable TV and still watch the shows you enjoy. But over a third of all cable TV networks in the next 5 to 10 years shut down? That's my prediction. It comes from over 11 years of covering the world of television every day for a living, and from many experts I've talked to in the field who share similar views with me. But from my understanding, that's my prediction. And again, these are going to be mostly lesser known channels. Remember, there's well over 120 rated channels out there, and even more than that when you look at some of the very small ones on the market. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day. We'll be back again tomorrow with another video. Until then, take care, be safe. I'll talk to you all again real soon.